Welcome to Digital Marketing for Contractors, a podcast for home improvement contractors to help you crush your lead goals and take your business to the next level. Join us each episode as we give you powerful insights and practical tips on the best digital marketing strategies to help you grow your home improvement business. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Digital Marketing for Contractors. My name is Janet. I am the founder and managing partner here at FatCat, and today I'm super stoked to have Arden joining me. Arden, introduce yourself and tell the listeners what you do at FatCat.
Hey y'all, I'm Arden. I'm one of the account managers here at FatCat, helping you guys succeed with your digital marketing.
Yeah, we love Arden. She's got great ideas. She's young. She's energetic. And our clients love her. So we're super excited to have her on the show. Today, we are talking about one of the most powerful tools in your marketing toolbox, and that is customer reviews.
That's right. They're more than just nice words on Google or Yelp. They're also a huge trust signal, and they can even boost your SEO. They'll literally make or break whether a customer chooses you.
So let's talk a little bit about why reviews matter so much. I know if we were just not thinking about the internet, I think we'd know why reviews matter, because people want to spend their time and money somewhere where they're going to have a nice experience or, be able to purchase a quality product. But Arden, tell me why in the digital world reviews matter so much.
Just like it is in the real world, it's word of mouth. It's just digital world word of mouth. It gives customers who are shopping around a big confidence boost in your business. I mean, they're saying that 88% of people are trusting online reviews just as much as they do personal recommendations. But it goes beyond just that word of mouth. They're a huge ranking factor. Google is looking at three big things for local search: relevance, distance, and prominence. So your reviews are feeding directly into that prominence. The more reviews, especially positive ones, are signaling to Google that people trust your business, and it'll help you show up more.
I love that number. 88% of people trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. I think I'm in the minority. This is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. My husband will sit in the parking lot of a restaurant that we're about to walk into, and he won't walk in the door until he looks up reviews, and maybe a friend told us to go there. So I guess I'm just maybe hard to get along with, but I'm like, come on, we're already here. Why do you have to let strangers on the internet tell you what to think before we can walk in there and just try it out? But I think he is in the majority. People don't want to spend their time, money, or energy without first checking out, is this going to be a bad experience? And that is totally true when it comes to home improvement projects. So that's why you'll see that the companies with more reviews on their Google business profile will show up higher in Google Maps and higher in search, even if they're not the closest, and they may not even be the most relevant, but they've got the most Google reviews.
Exactly. And it's not just that the maps either. If you're running those local service ads, LSAs, reviews are going to be make or break for your performance there as well. It shows your star rating right at the top of that ad. So if your business has a low amount of reviews or poor reviews, you're less likely to show up. So more reviews, especially those 5-star reviews, are going to help you get leads at a lower cost if you're running those local service ads as well.
So Arden, you may or may not know this, but on all the podcast episodes, the role I like to play is the role of grandmother and pretend that I don't know anything. You mentioned a local service ad. What is a local service ad?
Local service ads, they are going to it's another ad platform that Google uses. Very similar to ads, except for it's for those local searches. So if you're looking up a roofing contractor near me, they're right at the top of the Google search engine before your normal sponsored ads and your SEO, but they're heavily on, like I said, the local part of it.
And the service part.
Right.
So for listeners out there who may not have ever heard of the phrase local service ad, if you whip out your phone or you're in front of a computer, do a search on something like roofers near me, and you should see some ads at the top of the screen that have a green check mark that say Google guaranteed. Those are paid placements as part of the local service ad program that Google has. And Arden is absolutely right. If you don't have any reviews, Even if you want to give Google your money, your local service ads are not going to run. So, people, if they're doing a search and they're presented with multiple options through those local service ads, and they see one business with 250 reviews and a 4.8 rating and another business with 12 reviews at 5 stars, they're probably going to pick the one with 250 reviews because it feels like a more established business.
Exactly. It's kind of like social proof at a scale, and it's also giving you fresh user-generated content. The more reviews you have, that's more voices speaking for your brand, and Google loves that as well, not just people. It's seeing ongoing activity, and that's also going to start to play in hand, not just with those LSAs, but also with some of your SEO and organic rankings as well.
So one thing that I think it's important to mention, here it is, August 2025. It's the year that AI seems like it's in every single conversation. When I've talked to clients in the past and I've stressed the importance of getting more reviews, one thing that contractors have told me they struggle with is they may be at a homeowner's house. They're doing the final walkthrough on a completed job, and the homeowner is super happy, and they ask for a review, and they know they need to get more reviews on their Google business profile. They ask the homeowner, let's call her Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith, I love that you're happy with our job. Will you leave us a review? And she says, sure. How do I do that? And then your project manager says, oh, well, maybe he sends her a link, or she scans a QR code, or he hands her a business card with a URL to go to. The very first thing that's going to happen is Google is going to ask her to log in with her Gmail account. If she doesn't have a Gmail account, now you've got this huge challenge to try to overcome to get that super important Google review. But Arden and I were talking about this right before we recorded. That challenge may not be as challenging as it used to be because of AI. So, when I was asking you about this before we recorded, and I said, hey, what advice do you give to your clients when they say, man, I'm trying to get reviews, but some of my customers don't have a Gmail account? What were you telling me about the impact of AI on reviews here in summer 2025?
Right. I mean, AI is becoming more and more popular, and the good thing is there's so many different review channels out there, whether it's Yelp or Guild Quality or even the Better Business Bureau. People can leave their reviews there, and AI engines are actually looking to all these different review engines to show your business when people are searching for roofing contractor, siding contractor near me.
Bathroom contractor, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is, the AI engines are looking for a reputable business. So they're going to be looking at these other sources for reviews as well.
It's such a weird world to live in. I mean, right now, Google is still the dominant search engine, but Google has inserted these AI-generated results at the top of the page. And now that AI result is scanning other things on the internet that are not Google, like Guild Quality. So even a year ago, we wouldn't have been having this conversation. We would say, find a way by hook or by crook to help Mrs. Smith give you that review on a Google business profile. And now we're saying, well, if she can do it somewhere else, let her, because the more reviews you have, the better, even if not all of them are on Google. And that's pretty new in the world of digital marketing. So if we know that reviews are not just about reputation, they're also, they kind of play into your overall visibility and your lead acquisition costs. If we know that, let's get tactical. How do you actually generate reviews? Arden, walk me through some of the mechanics for our listeners.
I mean, this is a big question I get too from clients is, how do I get more reviews? And I will say first, timing is everything. You have got to ask your customers when they're at their happiest point. That's typically right after the project wraps up, service is delivered, the emotions are high, they have their new completed job, they love the way it looks, so they're most likely to respond then.
Okay, so what you're saying is if you need to get more reviews, you have to strike while the iron's hot. Don't wait 4 months from now to ask that homeowner what they think of their new gutters.
Exactly. And not just timing, but you also need to make sure that you're making it easy in that moment. Don't just say, leave us a review and then walk away. Send them a direct link or show them a QR code, something that they can easily refer to leave you that review.
We've even seen clients go, I mean, I would call it old school, where we've helped clients. We've designed and printed either a business card or a postcard that the project manager can leave with the homeowner that gives them, really clear instructions with multiple platforms of where they could leave a review, either on the business's Google My Business profile or their BBB profile or Facebook. So if you know that there's a platform where you're trying to get more reviews or boost them, let's say there's 3 review platforms and you've got 100 on one and 3 on another, and you want to boost that lower one, then your project managers and the folks who are interacting directly with your customers can kind of guide that request. So Arden, you're saying timing is everything and make it easy. And so by making it easy, you're telling them exactly where to go and exactly what to do. What else do they need to think about?
They also need to think about, your staff should know what to say, train them when to ask for that review. So if a customer says, this looks amazing, have your staff trained and ready to say, that's awesome. If you love it so much, can you leave us a review on Google?
So that's training and like role playing.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I think we mentioned that we've seen businesses use like print pieces. You can put QR codes. People have a love-hate relationship with QR codes, but I think anybody who's gone out to a restaurant in the past 5 years may be more familiar with QR codes now. Often you're like scanning a QR code to even see the menu, but you can put those again on a printed piece that you hand to a homeowner and see if you can convince them, right there on the spot when you're wrapping up the job, like, hey, to your point, Arden, the scripting and the coaching and the practicing is spot on. Strike while the iron's hot. You got a happy homeowner, hand them a QR code that they can scan, and then, help them get to the right platform to leave that human review.
And we still live in a digital world. So maybe if you don't go QR code, there's a lot of really cool automations out there nowadays too, where once you mark a job completed in your CRM, maybe an automated email or text goes out as well asking for a review. So you have a lot of options and ways you can ask for reviews, but I think timing is everything with that.
And, there's no harm in doubling up. So
Exactly.
if you've trained your staff, when you're doing the final walkthrough, when you're wrapping up the job, when you're cleaning up and sweeping off the driveway, ask for a review. That's that human touch. Then there's no harm in an automated reminder to go out to any customers that didn't leave you a review. So what's the next thing, Arden, when we're talking about reviews?
I think another thing to keep in mind as well are incentives. I've had a lot of clients ask, can we incentivize reviews?
Great question.
And unfortunately, you can't pay people for reviews. It does violate Google's policies, but you can do some light ethical incentives like entering reviewers into a monthly thank you drawing or just showing appreciation with a branded thank you. So you can't incentivize it with something monetary, but you can always give like a little personal handwritten note that can kind of help you draw in more reviews.
Okay, so you're saying if you need to build up reviews, there's sort of a formula to it. You have to ask customers at the right time. You have to make it easy, send them direct links, use a QR code, train your staff, involve your team, automate the request, and encourage consistency.
Yeah, consistency is going to be key too. You don't just want 50 reviews this month and then silence for weeks. Encourage that consistency because Google's going to favor businesses with that steady stream of fresh reviews, and so are the AI engines.
I've actually never thought about that. I've never thought about making sure that you're getting like almost like a pattern that looks, I'm trying not to use the word consistency because I'm trying to like spice it up, but really what you're saying is Google from an SEO play wants to see this like steady drip of reviews at a pace that looks normal for your business. And if you jam 100 in this month and then none next month, Have you seen people get penalized, or have you read articles about that?
I haven't seen anyone get penalized per se, but you do notice a difference in how they're showing up. I think especially with AI coming into play now, the more consistent you are, the more they're going to see that those signals that you're active in your business and that your customers are active with your business as well. So penalized, no.
I wonder if Google, which is still the dominant search engine, if you like jammed a whole bunch of reviews into your profile, if they would flag it as fake. I mean, I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it. Okay, so let's get back to the story here. We're talking about reviews. So you've collected reviews. Now what? Do you just let them sit there?
Oh, no. How you respond to those reviews matters just as much as collecting them. Reviews are public. It's a conversation, and Google is seeing it. Potential customers are seeing it, and the way you respond can either help you build trust or hurt it.
Okay, so are you saying that our listeners should be responding to positive and negative reviews? And if so, somebody said something good about you. What do you say to a positive review?
You definitely want to respond to both, and with positive reviews, keep it simple but personal. Make sure you say thank you and try to mention something specific that reinforces your values and your brand. So, for example, you might want to say something like, "Thanks for trusting us with your kitchen remodel, Sarah." We're going to say her name, Sarah.
Yeah.
"We loved bringing your vision to life." A simple message like that shows future customers that you care and that you're listening.
You know, I know I've talked to clients about this. It can almost be like an SEO play. We have so many James Hardy clients. I'm always thinking about like just sort of James Hardy tactics. And we've actually encouraged clients to do this. So we'll go back to this fake Sarah that we've got. So let's say Sarah had her siding done and she leaves the business a good review. Then the owner's response could be, "Sarah, we're so happy we were able to install Arctic White James Hardy siding in your Knightdale, North Carolina home." So then you've listed James Hardy, the manufacturer. You've listed Arctic White, the color that someone might search on, and you've listed a town, Knightdale. So then you're like, it's this 3 for SEO play. So, responding to even the positive reviews gives your marketing team or you as the owner another opportunity to insert content into your Google business profile that you want to be known for.
Exactly. It's kind of like a mini ad. Like your responses are almost like mini ads, the more you can pack in there. So definitely encourage whoever's responding to reviews for you to slip in those little keywords like the kitchen remodel or the James Hardy, like you mentioned.
Right. Or some sort of color or product name that people might search on. All right. So that's all fun and games when you're getting all these positive reviews. But what happens? You know it's going to happen because people can be kind of crazy. What happens when you get a negative review? What should you do?
I think the first thing is make sure you don't ignore them. I know sometimes it can be frustrating, so you want to just take a while, but
take a beat.
Don't ignore it. 53% of customers, they're expecting a response within a week, even if it's a bad review. And silence actually almost looks like you don't care, even to future customers.
Yeah.
So acknowledge the issue, apologize if needed, and move the conversation offline if needed. If it's a bigger issue, take it off Google Review and contact the customer directly. I think a good example of a response is just to say, "We're sorry to hear this, and we'd love the chance to make it right. Please reach out to us so we can discuss it directly."
I love that as sort of a templated response because it's showing you're not arguing with the customer. You're not telling them they're wrong. You're not getting into the details of the product. You are sorry that this person feels like they had a bad experience. That is genuine. And you definitely want to take this conversation offline. We had a client, this was years ago, before you started working with us, Arden. I'm not going to name names, but business owner, they were doing swimming pool installation. Somebody left him a bad review. The owner, it was like, hold my beer, let me take off my earrings. She went to town back and forth with a customer in the review platform.
Ooh.
And it wasn't just like, it was like bad review, her response. Then the customer came back and they just went at each other. And we were like, oh my God, put the keyboard down. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're frustrated with the customer, if you feel like you've done everything that you should have done, maybe you lost money on that job and now these people are coming at you online. If you are in an emotional state, do not respond. Just give it an hour or two. Come back the next day and use this as a template. Quote, we're sorry to hear this, comma, insert customer's name, John, Sarah, Ramesh, whatever his name is. We'd love the chance to make it right. Please contact us at our office so we can discuss directly. Copy and paste that. Just use that. Don't get into an argument with people online. You won't win as the business owner.
No, you're spot on. And I think a professional response can really turn a bad review into a credibility boost.
Yes.
People know that there is no perfect company. And if there is, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
So they're watching to see how you handle even those bad reviews.
Yes. And I think the good customers out there, the ones that you want to work with, they're going to scan through your reviews. I mean, when I'm looking at reviews, first of all, look at the most recent ones. And then if I can, depending on the platform, I will immediately go to the 1-star and I'll read what the 1-star person said. And then I'll read what the management said. And more than often, I would say 8 times out of 10, even though I'm intentionally reading the 1-star review, be it a hotel, a restaurant, a service provider, most of the time in my mind, I'm kind of siding with the business owner. I'm like, God, that customer seems like a pain in the backside to deal with. So don't let one review really make you freak out or ruin your day. Your good customers are going to see straight through that. And they're going to your point, Arden, they're going to see you as a responsive owner that thanked the people that left them a good review and responded professionally to the ones with a bad review. Okay, so let's wrap this up. I think we've covered a lot today about the power of reviews. Arden, why don't you summarize a little bit about some of the tips that we've shared and let people kind of recap what it is that we're talking about today.
Yeah, big picture, reviews aren't just a nice to have. It's your digital word of mouth. But they can also impact your SEO, your Google business ranking, and even your ads, your local service ads. And as AI comes into play more, we're starting to see it impact there as well. So it's big for your home improvement business. Responding to them quickly and professionally is big.
I would even take it a step further and say it's really critical and it's non-negotiable at this point.
Exactly.
Like if you are trying to compete and you don't have any reviews, before the sun rises every day, you're already 10 steps behind all of your competition. Just because we've all been trained, all of us humans with all these phones in our pockets, we've all been trained to go online and find out what somebody else thinks before we buy anything. And until that changes, you got to get some stinking reviews.
That's right.
Whether you like it or not. So if you're grumbling about it, go ahead and get it out of your system and just know that you got to generate some reviews. And then decide you're going to have a better attitude and know it's all about timing. You need to make it easy for customers. You can automate it. You can use business cards with QR codes. You can train your team. It doesn't have to be that hard. And so then once you've generated those reviews, Arden, what do you want them to do?
You want to respond.
You want to respond to all of them, right?
All of them, the good and the bad.
Okay. So, lost my train of thought for a second. That's what happens with aging. You just forget why you walked into a room. I totally forgot why I walked into this room. Okay. So if there's one thing that you do after this episode, make reviews part of the system that you use to run your business. Don't leave it to chance. Script it out. Have a strategy. Have software. Have scripting. Talk to your team. Know how critical it is. And speaking of reviews, we would love it if you guys would review us. So go to your whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. So that's it for today's episode. If you found it helpful, check out our past episodes. Always, you can go to our website and look for more resources. That's fatcatstrategies.com. We've got all of our back episodes plus some free downloads. And don't forget to subscribe so you can check out our next episode. Thanks for joining us today, Arden.
Oh, yeah.
Digital marketing for contractors is created by FatCat Strategies. For more information, visit fatcatstrategies.com.